-5 and 8. This is just a row of 4 numbers, and this can be represented in different ways. We can write it as an array of numbers horizontally like this, or we can write it as an array of numbers vertically like this. The first part, as you can see, has 1 row and 4 columns, and the second part has 4 rows and 1 column. There's another way in which we can write the 4 numbers. The first 2 numbers in the first row and the last 2 numbers in the second row. All these 3 things you see here are called matrices. Each of these is a matrix, just an arrangement of rows and columns. But how do we properly define it? We can say that a matrix is a rectangular arrangement. But a rectangular arrangement of what? It can be anything. Numbers, letters, other characters, anything. A matrix is made up of rows and columns. The first matrix has 1 row and 4 columns. The second one has 4 rows and 1 column. And what about the third one? It has 2 rows and 2 columns. So a matrix is just a rectangular arrangement of rows and columns. But there is one important condition we need to keep in mind. Each row needs to have equal number of elements. For instance, in the second matrix, each row has 1 element, and in the third matrix, each row has 2 elements. And each column also needs to have equal number of elements. In the first matrix, each column has 1 element. The second matrix has just 1 column, so it doesn't matter. And in the third one, each column has 2 elements. So a matrix is a rectangular arrangement of rows and columns in which each row has equal number of elements and each column as well has equal number of elements. So is this a matrix? Elements A and B in the first row and elements C and D in the second. It is a rectangular arrangement. Each row has 2 elements and each column has 2 elements. It is a matrix. And these 3 are also matrices. Okay, what about this one with 3 elements? Is it a matrix? The first row has 2 elements, but the second one just has 1 element. So it is not a matrix. What about this one with 5 elements? The number of elements in each of the columns is not the same. It's 2, 1 and 2, and this as well is not a matrix. So this is the definition. A rectangular arrangement of rows and columns in which each row should have equal number of elements and each column as well should have equal number of elements.